Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Nurse Mark and the Green Nurse Daily Dose of AFA,
where we bring you hope and inspiration for growth and healing so you can start your day off the AFA way. And in case you have forgotten, I'm telling you right now, you're gonna hear it from us every single day.
Every single day, we are gonna tell you that you are absolutely fucking amazing, without question. And you know what? Knock off all the rest of the bullshit. You're absolutely amazing. Act like it. You got this.
Yeah, you got this. We just forget. We have built-in forgetters.
Yes,
you know what I mean? We have these friends from the past that sometimes aren't so friendly. I call them the voices, the voices of the past that tell us stories that aren't true. You know, that are things that are situations, they're perceptions, they're what is, it's the what is. This is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, when we create stories, we're wired. And so we're here every morning to rewire you. The AFA way. And
we are here. We're like a cult. We're gonna just rewire your brain. Rewire. Yes.
Rewire.
Listen to my voice very carefully.
So Nurse Mark, because there's a lot of new viewers. So we have a lot of new people that are going to be joining us, which is so much fun. So people don't know about your book. So it's really kind of important because you have a very powerful story.
I do.
You know, in mental, I'm calling it not mental illness, I'm calling it mental wellness. How you were able to really fully embrace part of yourself.
I tell everybody, I have treatment-resistant depression. That's just how I was wired out of the womb. I've had it forever. It's been part of who I am. And I used to be ashamed about it. I used to feel like I'm flawed, like there's something wrong with me and everybody else is just going to have a great life. I'm always going to struggle. Now I celebrate my depression because it brought me places that I never would have gone if I had not had that. If I didn't have that challenge, I wouldn't have had to do all the deep inner work that I've done. The book never would have been written. We wouldn't be sitting here right now. Like I celebrate the fact that I have treatment-resistant depression and that I've figured out how to treat it.
And that's the part that's so powerful, Nurse Mark, is we talk about what it means to feel good. We talk about decreasing stigma around what it means to feel good and be high. So Mark, your book truly brings high vibe thoughts.
Yeah.
H for hope, I for inspiration, G for growth, and H for healing. And in case y'all need a reminder, think about this, right? What is the first thing that we've learned, not only for ourselves, but for a lot of the patients that we've cared for, when cannabis enters into their lives, whether they hear it in a story or they see someone, they witness someone's transformation from chronic illness to chronic wellness.
I love that. I'm chronically well now, Sherry, you know.
I'm chronic, right? So this is what it is.
I'm very happy.
Right? So we shift.
That's a great one. I'm going to use that.
Chronic wellness. This is the path that we're on.
Yeah.
And that's what came to me this weekend. You know, so I just want to finish off how powerful your book is, because cannabis is another tool. Your book brings hope. Yeah. And that hope is you share through your book is how you almost lost hope and how you were able to go in and figure it out. Right.
Yep.
And then you got inspired. Right. And the inspiration puts you in spirit, and spirit talks to us and gives us messages if we're able to slow down.
So nurse, slow down. And you
nurse,
get into that quiet space. Yes.
And so think about, this is so cool. This is what I love, is because you're a divine masculine man stepping up, owning your mess, blessing your mess, getting through your mess, sharing it. Your message is so powerful in here. And so that's the part I really want to convey, that hope, that inspiration, and the growth. So think about some of the things you did, Mark, off the beaten path. A lot of guys wouldn't do this. Right? You signed up for all these women's yoga classes.
Oh my God. Yeah. So isn't that, it's crazy. I keep being drawn to
women,
the feminine. Like that's, and you know, I grew up very masculine. Like I am a redneck
Marine.
Through, you know, hunting,
I'm a redneck.
Fishing, trapping. I went in the Marine Corps when I was 17. Like manly, masculine stuff, right? I'm an auto mechanic. I've done, all these very masculine things, and I'm always
You're a
drawn
dude.
to feminine. I'm always drawn. Like, I became a yoga instructor. I became a nurse. Like, I'm in the minority, right? It's like 93% women, 7% men. I'm not stupid, Sherry.
Well, this is the part thing too. Think about this, right?
Yeah.
Here it is how like you're evolving. And
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? And developing these cool, rich experiences, right?
Amazing
and
experiences. Yeah.
Yes. And so you were inspired, and just think, you did yoga and you're like, whoa, this is cool. Look at the changes that are happening in my body. Spirit starts to work in mysterious ways.
It does.
And then the growth came as you continued one foot in front of the other.
Totally.
Like, you are the most motivating man that I know. You've taken so many different courses, literally like these life transforming courses, and you tie it all together in the book. So I hope this is a good plug. If y'all want to know.
Oh my gosh, I couldn't have asked for a better commercial on that. And Stephanie, you can get that on Amazon. It's an Amazon #1 bestseller. You'll find it. Just look, you will find it. Good morning, everybody. Welcome.
Every man should own this book. Where's
Happy Monday. Welcome to the new week.
Welcome, you guys. The new week. And it's new day. So listen, this morning I was like, okay, let's talk about the weekend really quick. We'll just kind of chunk it up. So the weekend, is a time to restore.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but this weekend, I went on my first cannabis vacation.
And it's exciting.
It is exciting.
We all took a little bit of a walkabout this weekend.
And that's the part that's so cool. So the part that's so interesting about this is that, I've done a lot of infused meals and done the dinners and have done weekends, and I figured out, but there was a lot of new people that were there. And so we saw a need as to educate on how to not only pair cannabis with foods, how to take it, what time to take it, how much to take, because when you're on vacation, you don't want to consume cannabis and go to bed. Like, you just don't want to be in that space. You want to be in a space where literally it's enhancing all of your activity. So it was really, really a really cool experience to be at the inn. Big shout out to Cannication. There's every month they're doing these vacations, and it's all inclusive, all included. Any activity that you can think of, they provide. You just have to ask for it. And it was really relaxing, and it just showed me how, what we can do in our communities coming together to teach people how to have this enriched, embodied experience. Learning, right, from health and wellness and nurses, and how to like do different activities and use cannabis in a way that is going to help your mind, body, and spirit while you're in the space of restoring.
That's
right. Really
amazing. We're going to dive deep into that. We're going to hear all about it. Let's get to the daily love.
Yeah, the daily love. I love the daily
ready?
love.
Are we ready, everybody?
Yes.
Let's do this. And good morning, Steve.
Here's the book.
This one's called Expectation.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Love it.
I get a good share on this one. All right,
let's do it.
Expectation keeps my mind positive and my heart full. Living in a state of expectancy kindles a quiet excitement in my heart, keeping me passionate about my life. I expect good things, peace and prosperity, health and plenty, and my positive thoughts and feelings help create those conditions. The expectation I feel is my faith in action. I need not wait for things to happen to feel grateful, eager, or happy. When I make a choice to live with a grateful, happy heart, I am creating fertile ground that encourages the seeds of joy to bloom. Any fear or trepidation I may have let stop me in the past is no match for the positive expectation that keeps me confident and eager to go into the world to meet my good.
There you go. There's a high vibe thought for you. Hope, inspiration.
That is a high vibe thought right there.
Yeah, it is. So it's like, it's the expectation. So when you wake up in the morning, I'm like, I'm going to expect to have the best day ever. This is how I think, right? Because my son actually taught me that. He would wake up in the morning and he would say to me, he would literally say to me, he goes, Mom, it's going to be the best day ever, isn't it?
Every day I say
what
that.
A little boy, like, just imagine. I'm like, so he's already imprinting into my head. This is a child. I'm like, oh, you're the best kid ever. And then we wake up every morning and then we hear about this, how to be AFA. We just got to keep it going.
Today is the best day ever.
Yeah, it is. It's so cool.
You get tomorrow. Yes.
So the expectation,
right? So expectation. You know, it's funny. My wife and I had a conversation about expectations, and we decided that we should have none for each other, which is really a good thing, right? Like, totally free to be ourselves, which is just amazing. But expectation in this regard is the expectation that today is going to be, just as you said, Sherry, the best day ever. I kind of look at it as, think back to when you were a little kid, like, 6, 7 years old, whatever, 5, 6, 7. And you'd wake up and you'd have no idea what that day was going to bring. But you were excited to see what was going to unfold, right? How about living that way today? Like, we wake up now and we have all of these pressures and thoughts and things we need to do and all this stuff. How about we just let go of all of those and live the day with the expectation of, oh my gosh, this is going to be the best day ever. I don't even know what's going to happen, but it's going to be the best.
Yeah, it is going to be the best. And so here's the thing too. Here's a little tidbit, a hug and a nug that goes along with it. I was pulling cards. The universe has your back.
Woo.
Okay, so here's this thing, right? So here's the cool thing about, I'm just going to tie into the expectations piece of it. Is, and it has to do with kindness. Okay, so this is a really cool one, right? So here it is. Kindness is a gift I bestow upon the world, right? So kindness is a gift I bestow upon the world. So when we're kind to ourselves, it's easier to be kind to others. When we're kind to ourselves, we can have the expectation, yes, it's going to be the best day ever, because we're our best cheerleader. Who is more important than you, and who's the person that talks to you the most? You might as well train that voice to say the right things.
We have the most intimate relationship with ourselves, and for me, it was a shitty relationship for a long time. My inner dialogue was that I was a failure. I was never going to be any good. That was all just stuff that was planted in my head many, many, many years ago, through just random comments or whatever. It just gets imprinted into your brain, right? That conversation that we have with ourselves all the time, is it good or is it not? And if it's not, you can change that.
You can change it. So here's the thing too, is this is a funny story. So I thought I was pretty badass. Well,
I think you're badass,
I got sick.
Larry.
But here's the thing, this is the thing. This is the issue that happens with people that get sick. So, right, I went from high functioning to not functioning at all.
Yeah.
I identified with not a human being as a human doing. I identified all my self-worth was based on what I could do for others because I'm in a place of service. Yes. So I choose to serve humanity through my nursing, take care of my kids. But then it was like, I couldn't do that anymore. So it was like, oh my God,
who are you?
Who am I now?
Value, right?
I was a big blob of, my son said, just a big blob of nothing.
Right.
But he said it in a cool way. He's like, he's so cool. He said, imagine silly putty. Because you're a big blob of silly putty. You're not doing much right now. He goes, but just exactly. But he said the isness of what is. And it's like, right. So you can take that putty and create. Yeah. The whole bottom line is no matter what state of mind you're in, if you're sick and suffering, you can use your imagination. And that's one of the biggest gifts we have, is to use our imagination to shift our consciousness, our perception, and what is really a true miracle.
Yes. You're
good reading,
Sherry.
Oh,
absolutely.
Jesus.
So, hey, listen, Sherry, we're going to talk about more.
We're going to talk about what motivates
us as cannabis nurses.
Really powerful stuff, Mark. I mean, you just don't wake up one day and say, hey, I'm going to be a cannabis nurse. You just don't wake up one day and say, hey, I'm going to podcast every morning. You just don't do that, right?
No, actually, Sherry, that's exactly what we did. We woke up one day and I said, hey, Sherry, why don't we do a morning show? You're like, oh, that's a great idea. Let's do like 15 minutes. We'll just get on and we'll say hi and then we'll end. Like now it's 45 minutes of intense education. Like this is morphed into this amazing, fun thing that is just, it's so cool to have everybody here with us in the morning. What a way to wake up and start the day. Oh my gosh, I'm so grateful for everybody that's here and for you, partner. So we don't wake up saying we're going to be cannabis nurses, but hell yeah, we said we were going to podcast one day.
We said we're going to wake up and talk about cannabis and all the cool, and here it is, right? All the cool stuff that we've learned on our journey and how we can tie all of that in together.
And here
that's the so cool thing. And here we go. So what motivates us? Well, I'll tell you what lit a fire under my ass. In 2018, July of 2018, the National Council of State Boards of Nursing, they put out guidelines in the Journal of Nursing Regulations for medical cannabis. So the NCSBN is the organization that puts on the NCLEX exam that certifies all nurses in every state. So they identified 6 essential areas of knowledge about cannabis for all nurses, nursing students, and advanced practice nurses. So, when we've been covering them, let's just review really quickly. Why don't you go down all 5 of them?
Okay, here we go. All right.
Newbies.
Okay, number 1, the nurse shall have a working. Now, hold on. Let me just step back, Sherry, because I had this idea the other day. You know what?
What?
Nursing programs still don't, the real nursing programs still don't teach this, right? 2018, the state boards said you should be teaching this. And it's 2021, they're still not. So you know what? I'm a master's level educated cannabis guy. Son of a bitch. I'm going to go to these colleges now and I'm going to tell them, you should have me teaching a class. You should have me in your nursing curriculum, even if it's just a weekend seminar, something, because damn it, they need to have this in. And here, let me tell you why, because this is what the National Council of State Boards of Nursing said.
Boards of Nursing, right? And then you have your do-what, then you have your sidekick, Sherry, the do-what to come in. Do-what. And here I'm the story. The story of transformation. Seriously. Death, dying, suicidal. Right. And so then we show, we share, this is my first case study. We talk about it.
Here's my first case study. Sherry, please come in. And you know what? You have it's a great nursing story because you were on the job when you had that started this whole snowball, right? So this is good for nurses to hear. Like
this is good for nurses
to you. All right.
It was So we think of So, anyways, let's get back to the nitty gritty.
So number 1,
the National
Council State Boards of Nursing said, the nurse shall have a working knowledge of the current state of legalization of medical and recreational cannabis use. We will be reviewing each state. We need to remember that info is going to be constantly changing as this whole rollout evolves. Number 2, the nurse shall have a working knowledge of the jurisdiction's medical program. So in other words, in the state that you're in as a nurse, you need to understand what the rules and regulations are. What's number 3, Sherry?
So number 3 says the nurse shall have an understanding of the endocannabinoid system, cannabinoid receptors, cannabinoids, and the interactions between them. So we've been covering a lot of that.
Oh, isn't that exciting? That's my jam.
Yes, it is.
That's what I'd like to
do.
Yeah.
Me
All right.
too.
And number 4, what is it?
The nurse shall have an understanding of cannabis pharmacology and the research associated with the medical use of cannabis. We've been covering research like at least twice a week, pretty detailed.
Absolutely.
Which is great. And then the 5th one is the nurse shall be able to identify the safety considerations for patients' use of cannabis. It's all about the safe consumption of cannabis.
Safe.
Yeah, always. And then the one we're going to talk about today, right, is the nurse shall approach the patient without judgment regarding a patient's choice of treatment or preference in managing pain and other distressing symptoms of chronic illness.
Yes.
So Mark and I presented in 2020 at the ACNA conference. And the presentation, and we put it up on our page, is Spirituality is the Root of Cannabis Care. And so what we're doing is we're bringing the spirit
of plant medicine to our patients and educating them on various ways that it can help decrease suffering and improve quality of life. So if you think about, Mark, I mean, you'll probably agree, when you learned in nursing school as clinicians, what do you really start off with? You start off with body parts, symptoms,
anatomy and
pharmaceuticals.
physiology. That's a prerequisite getting to nursing school. You got to understand the piece parts, right? So that's the base level knowledge that you start with.
And then eventually we get a sliver of mental, emotional. You know, we do get that covered, that a sliver of nutrition. But generally, do we ever really get to spiritual healing?
Are you kidding me? That's never talked about. No. Oh, God, no.
So that's what we bring here. So the nurse shall approach the patient without judgment regarding their preferred treatment. And we talk about judgment as making a decision or forming an opinion. And our mind is constantly judging good, bad, neutral. Right. And here's the thing too, there is no room for judgment when caring for patients. So that's why this is really important for us to talk about, for any professionals out there, caregivers, doctors, nurses. You know, the essence of nursing, even think about it, the essence of taking care of someone is caring, human caring, caring for the entire human experience, right? So we've been covering, Mark, let's go get into this. We've been covering, Gene Watson.
Yes, we have. Listen, you know, we've introduced you to Gene Watson's theory on human caring. And Sherry, you know, you said it early on, we first started this conversation. This stuff can be a little bit dry, right? In nursing school,
it can be boring.
Papers on nursing theorists was just excruciating. It was one of those things, it's like algebra. It's like, am I really ever going to use this? Or calculus, right? The thing is, totally going to use it, because Gene Watson's theory on human caring is amazing. And it's so powerful when you come from this perspective in nursing. So her human caring theory is based on, number one, humanistic psychology. We talked about this. It calls for the person to look deep within, right? And you really have to look within for that knowledge and that self-awareness, because it's a prerequisite for self-growth. The second thing that it's based on is Eastern philosophy, right? Eastern philosophy is always about those spiritual principles of the whole of the person, not the piece parts, right? So it's always about the whole and holistic. And then the third thing is transpersonal psychology, spiritual psychology, whole person psychology, connecting with spirit and transcending the self-ego. So what does Watson say about human caring theory and transpersonal nursing, Cher?
Okay, so how she describes a transpersonal nurse is one who has the ability to center consciousness and intention on caring, healing, and wholeness, rather than on disease, illness, and
rather than on Denise's. Nurse Denise, you spent the whole weekend with her, right? That's why.
I know. I got Denise. I got Denise on my mind, and she's sitting right next to me.
Hi, Denise.
So funny. So transpersonal nursing focuses on the caring, the healing, and the wholeness, and doesn't focus on, the illness or the pathology. These are things that need to be addressed, but nursing is really, really about caring. It's focusing on the mind, body, and spirit, bringing the patient into more of a sense of harmony. And so she developed these 10 Caritas processes, and we've been covering a couple of them. We're going to go through, we're on the 5th one.
Yes.
How much? Yeah. So real quick, I'll go through the first one, and then we'll get to the 5th, and we'll talk about how it applies.
We're doing good. We're on track.
We got some good for time. Okay. Sometimes. We like to talk. We have so much fun.
Take us through.
Okay, so these Caritas processes, they have to do with Gene Watson's human caring theory. And the first one states, as nurses, to practice loving kindness and compassion towards ourselves and others when we're working with patients.
Oh my God.
Self-care.
That reminds me of the Meta Mom, of course. Loving kindness and compassion towards self and others.
Right, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. May I be loving and kind. May you be loving and kind. May we be loving and kind.
Gotta love the meta.
So the second, I know the meta is really good. So the second one.
Remain authentically present, honoring our own inner life and that of others.
Yeah. Meet people where they're at,
That's
stay
right.
strong, and have your own system, your own inner life. What is important to you? How do you want to live your life, right? How are you showing up in the world?
Yeah.
And you teach that. So we remain authentically present, we honor ourselves, and we honor the space that our patient is in, because it's not about me, it's about you. So yep. Remain sensitive. So this is the other one. Sensitive to self and others by cultivating our own spiritual practices to move beyond the ego or the judgment into higher levels of consciousness for healing. So it's really about going up to go in, reaching out into the cosmos, bringing in that divine wisdom and grounding it into our bodies, so we can, so then when we're able to do that, it improves our sensitivity to others, because we realize that we each have our own universes in our minds. We're all experiencing different realities. So that third Caritas process helps us to remain sensitive to ourselves and others.
Love number 4,
So the fourth,
Sherry.
Go ahead. You go.
4. Ready? Developing and sustaining, helping, trusting, and authentic, caring relationships with anybody that you're caring for. But hell, that's just true for life. That's everybody that you come in contact with, right? Developing and sustaining, helping, trusting, and authentic, caring relationships.
And the part of it too, so here's the thing, part of that too is about sharing, right? So sharing when appropriate, having the discernment to share bits and pieces of who we are with others and how we worked through specific conditions. So consulting as a cannabis nurse is so different than it is traditional, because there is more of the dialogue, there is more of the interaction, there is that journey, that hand holding, and so and being able to disclose information, like one of the things that made me trust my friend even more was, she's a 70-year-old nurse. She came and disclosed to me that she used cannabis, right? And so I was like, what? Right? And so she disclosed cannabis. She was authentic. It was a piece of herself that she hadn't shared with the world, but she had the discernment to share that with me, because she knew, knew that it was something that would be able to help me, but she left it open to me to make the choice. Sherry, this is something that might help you, and so she sustained. So it was really interesting. So I had that transpersonal nursing experience with a colleague, nursing friend of mine, who introduced me to medical cannabis when I only understood it recreationally. So good stuff.
Okay, we're coming to number 5, Sherry.
Number 5. This is okay. So this is the one for today.
This is
the one for today.
Ready?
So today's 5th Caritas process that we're focusing on today
is
creating a healing environment on all levels.
Well, what does that mean?
What does it mean?
How the hell do we do that, Sherry?
Yeah, there we go. Here it is, right? I love this one. Wherever you go, there you are. You are the healing environment. We hold space for people and patients. So what does that mean, to hold space? Well, we do it for each other as clinicians. We help each other hold space. We treat ourselves, our patients, and our colleagues with care, kindness, compassion, and love as we educate on the most misunderstood plant in the world. You can't take anything personally. You just can't, right? And so we carry this energy as we work on ourselves, as we start to evolve, as we bring in spirit and get comfortable. We are the healing environment. We carry our energy with us, and we must be conscious about what that feels like when we're in the presence of others, right? I can't see you. I got a green dot.
That is correct. Absolutely correct.
So here's another cool one, right? So the healing environment can be anywhere, and it starts with our connection to our own spirit, and then we connect with the patient's spirit. We become the place of healing wherever we are, whether it be in a hospital, the office, a home, a dispensary, on the phone, on Zoom, right? Cannabis care and our ability to teach can be anywhere, any place. So our healing environment is staged by the energy we bring to the consultation when we first connect with the patient. And cannabis was a great tool for me to do that with myself, and now to be able to do that with patients, right? Mark?
Yeah.
So the healing environment. So I know, so that's the part that's so cool. We have the capability, the art and science of nursing. The art is where we're able to tap into our creativity. The science is there, the research is there, it's evolving, but how can we connect the dots so we all can understand and grasp this on a different level and embrace the change, the transformation that's happening? 3 cheers for Jean Watson.
Here, here.
Mm-hmm. Here, here.
All right.
So that is.
What do we got going on this week, Cher?
Okay, so we have a surprise tonight for everyone, and we just put it up, and I'll share it again a little bit later. So we have our mastermind group, and we had thought that we would do an energy healing presentation and open it up to people that are interested in learning. Just to open it up, you can come in and be a fly on the wall. You can come in and listen. We're going to do a presentation on Reiki, reconnective healing, and Healy. We're going to talk about what it means to have a mastermind group, and that's leading into how we're evolving and developing into the holistic caring community. So I put a link up right on the bottom there. Right. And so this whole community that we're developing. So join us tonight. I'm going to put a link up for Zoom so you can learn about mastermind. You can learn about energy healing. Green Nurse Holistic Caring Community. We want you guys to be a part of that. This is really, really important, as we start to get censored and they start taking things down. Information, knowledge is power, right? And we have the information to help you be empowered. And so we want you to join us on the community, the Holistic Caring Community. It's free. You can set up a page. It's a community. You can post things. There's different groups that you can belong to. Very similar, but it's all cannabis and progressive therapies. So when we talk about what is the Green Nurse, it's cannabinoid therapeutics, and cannabis is one piece of the pie. So this community incorporates people, patients, providers from all walks of life, people coming together. And we have a section in the community where our podcasts are, progressive therapies, all of energy therapies, psychedelic therapies, cannabis, the legalization, affiliates. So it's a really, really rich community. We want you to come. There's an invitation there. And then if you're new and you want to take courses, there are self-paced provider courses that are offered. So we're really, really excited about being a part of that community. We think it's really going to help us to take this to the next level. And that's what we're all about, right?
That's
spreading
right.
the love. Yeah. And then Wednesday night, we have Sergeant Jason Straw on. He's from Indiana. He's the head of Normal. He's a registered nurse. We had his wife on a couple weeks ago, Shelly Straw, and they're doing amazing things out in the Midwest with the grow, with activism, advocacy, and patient education. So they're going to be on Wednesday. And then Friday, of course, we have Frequency Fridays every Friday before we start the weekend, the holiday weekend. Yeah. So we got a lot going on, and be sure you join us every morning. I want to give a big shout out to my girl, Denise. She's look at that, so cool. They asked for her to be in a publication here in her town. So she's really reaching the community, and I'm here at her headquarters, Green Nurse Denise headquarters. And she set up a cute little studio here for us as well. So if we're on the road, we can pop in and do lives whenever we want. So thank you so much, Denise. Cheers to you all.
Cheers to you.
Happy
Monday.
Motivational Monday.
Everybody. We'll see you all bright and early tomorrow. Sherry, what's it all about?
It is all about living your best life and helping others do the same. We love you.
See you later.